What's going on, guys? It's Zinux here back with another video for you guys, and today we're going to be showing you a quick video on the best underrated class setup for Trials of the 9. Before we get straight into the video, if you guys want to drop a like down below and subscribe for more Destiny 2 content, I really appreciate it. But without further ado, let's get straight into the video. So I probably should have put this video out at the beginning of the weekend instead of the last day of Trials, so that's kind of awkward, but it's okay. At least you guys will be prepared for next week. This class is the class that I use to go flawless and literally have no problems with it whatsoever. It's a crazy good class. Now, there's two variations of this class because one of the weapons you actually have to get from doing trials, and it's called the Prosecutor. Now, this assault rifle is actually a really good weapon to use, and everybody's pretty much just using that and dominating in the trials with it right now and in the Crucible in general. In fact, I think it's the second most used gun right under the Mida in trials, so that shows, you know, the stats are that it's a really good weapon to use, and auto rifles have really made a comeback in this game compared to Destiny 1. So that is our first weapon of choice. Now, for the Kinetic Weapons slot, this weapon is under the 1% for being used, and that is the Better Devils. Now, this Better Devils hand cannon is actually not that bad at all. I literally did not fight one other guy in all of my trials matches with the Better Devils, and yet I was able to just destroy these kids with it. Maybe it's because I've always been better with hand cannons in Destiny 1. Hand cannons were always my weapon of choice. So if you're not really a hand cannon user, then I guess you could take a step back from this and just go the Mida route or a different primary that you feel more comfortable with. But if you don't mind using hand cannons, then the Better Devils with the Prosecutor is a crazy deadly combo. Now for your heavy, I just use the Raid rocket launcher. Now if you guys don't have that, you could just use the Blue Shift rocket launcher as well. It has just as much blast radius as the Raid one as well. I mean, if you guys aren't rocket launcher kind of people, then go and use a sniper. Personally, I'm just not the best sniper, and in this game, I can't snipe enough because I just don't have heavy all the time, so I'm really not getting any practice on it. So I just thought I'd take the safer route of using the rocket, which still works really good wonders. If you're going to be using shotgun, just make sure you're going to be staying close quarters. It's not a bad idea to use it, but since this is already a close range class, you know, I'd pick something that's a little more long range like the sniper or the rocket launcher because you can already have the Better Devils, which is close to medium range, and then the auto rifle, which is also close to medium range. Now, the weapon that you can use as a backup for the secondary slot, if you don't have the Prosecutor, is Oriel's Gift. Now, this weapon is just as good as the Prosecutor. It has a little bit more range than the Prosecutor, if I remember correctly, but the stability is just a tad bit worse, and the reload is a little bit quicker than the Prosecutor. So it's a little bit different into the Prosecutor itself, but they're both really good weapons. Both have the same damage and, you know, the headshot radius, and they're both good at the same exact range. Now, the only problem with this class setup is that you will, no matter what, get beat out by a Mida from long range. You should not be fighting long range with this class setup at all. Only medium to close range, that's what you should do. With the Serenity map, it's not actually that hard to get into close range combat. Just take shorter routes where people are going to have to fight up close, and you'll be perfectly fine. This, in my opinion, is one of the best class setups for trials that is very underrated, and I do not see anybody using at all, except for the Prosecutor. So I would definitely give this a go. And depending on which character you are, I don't really, you know, it doesn't really matter to me, but I also use the Shadow Shot on the Hunter. I don't use Gunslinger like everybody else does that's a Hunter because I like the idea of being able to disable people's supers if they come at me with them. So I use that as just saving my super all the way to the end of the game and waiting for everybody to pop their supers. So if you're in a pinch, you can actually use that to gain a win on that round if you're also behind in the game. That is just my class setup though, because I am a Hunter most of the time for my main. So you could definitely use that, or if you are a Warlock, I definitely recommend Voidwalker. You could use the Devourer class, or you could use the top one. It really doesn't matter too much. I personally like the Hunger class setup on the bottom, which gives me more health back and everything for whatever I do. And then just use a Healing Rift, and you'll be good. I don't actually have a Titan set up to level 20 yet, so I could not give you a recommendation on a Titan setup for it. I guess just find what you like. I see a lot of people using Striker and the Defender class. Not many people running Hammers. But I guess it's all personal preference. I've never been a big Titan person anyways, so I couldn't really tell you. But yeah, whatever suits your comfort for that. Otherwise, for the modifications on the weapons, you don't really need to do much. I'd say, you know, sacrifice the range on the Better Devils to give yourself more stability on it with the perks chosen, because that actually helps out because you're not going to be using it at longer range. You're going to be using the Prosecutor for longer range. So the Better Devils being more accurate up close instead of having that crazy range on it actually helps out a lot. If you think you can control the stability, or I'm sorry, the recoil, then go for it. But otherwise, I'd recommend more stability over range for the Better Devils. And then the Prosecutor, I just recommend the range perks and, you know, just stuff with the most stability and range. It doesn't really make a difference too much on the weapon, to be honest. But I'm pretty sure that is all I can really talk about for this quick video of showing you what the best class is. If you guys did enjoy it, make sure to leave a like down below and also subscribe for more Destiny content. It helps me out so much. But without further ado, Guardians, Harmony Within, Hurricane Without, and I'll see you all in the next video.